We talk to the legends of the creative and entertainment industries. We talk to those on the rise. Steen Anthony Nielsen asks about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. This is Outcast Creative, and this is Industry Interviews.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Welcome back to the Outcast Creative channel. This is for part 2 of the William Kaufman interview. If you haven't seen part 1, it's up on the channel. You can watch it at any time. You don't need to see them in order. Part 1, my guest talks about his early career, his early work, how he got his first breaks into the industry. And on part 2, we're specifically going to talk about Man of War, which is the film that's out right now. So without any further ado, let me show you guys the trailer first.
Fastest way between 2 points is a straight line. Let's go.
Russia overnight launched its long-anticipated attack on Ukraine.
Now jam the door! Mike, I'm in trouble. I need your help.
They stormed the orphanage.
His name's Stanislav Koniev. He's got quite a reputation.
I need a way into Kyiv. Now. My niece. Me and her dad, we've been in the teams together since buds. She's all I got left. You find me a tour guide yet?
What's up, man? Come on, baby, get in. What's up? First time in Kyiv?
Yeah.
Take what you want.
We're headed to Kharkiv.
The battle lines run down the entire valley.
But I don't got a choice.
Let's go!
I'll do anything that needs to be done to get to Riley.
Anyone seen not in Ukrainian uniforms will be shot on sight. This is what's left. Simple people. We're trying to live their lives, trying to survive.
War is a monster.
Then why you make it your life? All right, that's on me.
This is about to get ugly.
Well, I'd quite like to get the Blu-ray for that, and I don't say that very often. I have actually seen the film, and I can say without reservation that I really enjoyed the movie. It's an absolutely cracking action picture. It didn't let up, and I was thoroughly entertained, which I believe was the brief of the man who created the film. Let's welcome back William Kaufman. Thank you so much for coming back. I think you might have put slightly too many L's in your name when typing that.
Okay, well.
Do you want me to correct that quickly?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, well, this is perfect. There's no surprise on that. So, yeah.
I think
you can help with the will
my spelling's a little ropey, but I think it's WILLIAM, isn't it? There we go.
Yeah, I'm an American, so I'm from New Orleans, so yeah, I have problems.
You can tell he's a man juggling lots of projects and under pressure when he's got to type his name that quickly. So, first of all, thank you so much for coming back and doing a second part, because we couldn't talk about this film last week because it's kind of its release timed with there was a press embargo on it, and we couldn't show the trailer. And now we can. My own panel on the show talked about the film on Tuesday. I actually reviewed it as part of a lineup. Really liked it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. We always review films out of 10. I always review films on the basis of what is the film trying to achieve, and does it achieve it well, and does it score high in those objectives? And if so, it's always going to get quite a high rate. If it's a comedy, did it make me laugh? You know. And this is really, really well directed action.
Thank you.
I really liked it. What I'd like to do tonight, William, to make it slightly different from last week, is focusing on this film alone, Man of War. I'd sort of like to take you through the different stages of production and how you approached each part, because we have a lot of actors that watch this show. In fact, we had a couple in the chat last week. I didn't even realize they were there. We've got several people have come back from last week as well. I see we're here last time. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Got a bit of noise your end, but I don't know if that's good.
Yeah, I've got a storm blowing in. Apologies about
storm. Okay.
Yeah.
If we suddenly lose power, we know why. Okay.
Yeah, if I go very dark, I apologize.
All right. Well, if the comms go down, I'll just carry on talking about your film until you come back on again. But so production, a film production always starts with financing and the script. Okay, so you've got the script, then you've got to get the financing. So let's talk about how the script for this one came about. I think you touched on it briefly last week. Just give us a brief overview, because it's written by yourself and Paul Reichelt.
Reichelt, yeah, that's right. Paul is kind of my creative partner. We wrote this film together. He actually came up with the initial concept, the idea. He had read a true story about a soldier going into a combat zone, and I found that really intriguing. I like the idea of, and yes, I know the take in comparison. This is a different movie though, and I think it's the idea of what a man will do, what a person will do for who they love, or what we would all try to do for who we love. And that's what that at the heart of the story, behind the guilty pleasures of the action, is this human story of a guy who kind of finds his way back to having some belief in humanity.
Yeah, played by, is it Monica Garrett?
Yeah, the one and only LaMonica Garrett. You know him from 1883. He's the Sheridan darling, 1883, Lioness. He's a Terminal List. He's been around. And finally, we get to put him in and show him off at the level he deserves to be shown off.
We'll talk about casting in a little bit. So, I've seen that you and Paul have worked together on at least 5 of your movies, and actually, I think it's fair to say probably 5 of your best.
Thank you.
How I find these collaborative partnerships when it comes to filmmaking are really key. You know, you got that one person you can always go to, that you can always depend on, that you can always bounce an idea off, and so on. How did you and Paul first meet, and how did that relationship develop? Just to give him a bit of credit, because I know he's not here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got introduced by another filmmaker, talented guy named James Gary, and James was one of the producers on my film Daylight's End, and he brought Paul in as one of our investors, and the movie did well. He did well, and we became friends on it, and we've gone on to make more movies together. And
that's kind of a dream story for a lot of indie filmmakers, that you become buddies with an investor who does well out of one of your movies and now wants to make more movies with you.
Well, we always say it's show business, not show fun. Yeah. So if as long as he keeps being satisfied with the return, he feels like, I think he really loves my team, my producers, Isaac and Andrew Lewis, Carly Jones, and you know, John Robleski, Christian Sosa. These are producers that really, these are the producers directors want. They're the guys who fight really hard for creative. And, you know, obviously I get the toy box. They say this is what I have, and I make the most out of that. Right. But that's where it's such a relief to be working with producers and Paul, right? Who come in and they really want to make a great movie. Yeah, I know, that's quite rare. Yeah, they don't. Most just want a poster and a trailer. That's what they care about.
Yeah, and to take as big a slice of the pie as possible by doing as little as possible.
Before we ever begin. That's not this way. The reason we're able to do the films at the scope we are, of the appearance of the budget they are, is because there's no one getting fat. There's no big checks. we're working filmmakers, and we're trying to just kind of build up our resume and keep doing stories we want to do.
Right. So I imagine that's how the finance fell into place. Then you've kind of talked us through that a little bit. And it's quite interesting that he also became involved in the creative side, in the sense that he co-wrote this script with you, I imagine, with a lot of
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I think that's also why, you know, for him, this is a comfort zone. In fact, he creatively and having the confidence that we have the business side covered, and he's had that experience because he's had one or two bad experiences, and he won't go that way again.
No.
Yeah.
Well, please do lend me one of these great producers for 12 months or so. I will connect. When you don't need them, I'll be very welcome to have them fighting by my side. That would be excellent. Okay, so you've got your script. Let's just talk about that. From the moment that your good buddy said, "Hey, I've got an idea. I've read this article," to you having draft one, how long was that?
I would say about 3 months.
3 months. And how did that work with you writing it together? Did he sort of write a scene and send you a scene, or did you have a treatment you were both working off of? Just talk us through the collaborative process a little bit.
Yeah, so we talked through an outline, through a beat sheet, and then I, once we shook hands with that, we could then kind of work scene to scene and share things back and forth and get to a point where we felt really happy with it. And then it was a matter of at that point, that's when we share it with our producing team.
Yeah.
And if the overall response is really positive, then we are in that, we call them the unicorn. We are in that special spot of being able to be able to make movies happen, and that we are budget challenged, but we're not creative and challenged, right?
No, sure. So after you get that draft done in 3 months, your producer team look at it. Presumably they have some notes.
Yeah.
And in the case of Man of War, what sort of size stack of notes are we talking, pages wise? How many?
I think no, it wasn't dramatic. It was more
just a few things.
We're given a lot. I'm given a lot of freedom creatively. It's more about the scope of things, right?
Okay. Because
I try to write within limits, but yes, I had a big dramatic car chase, and that's always the first thing to go away. That the running gun battle in the finale was a chase, and there's just, you're looking at the common sense aspects of things, and also, to tighten the script, to get it to a point where we can spend more time doing what we have really well than just getting more,
I mean, me and my friend Craig, we just got a load of notes from 3 different sources, actually, on the last script that we were writing. And I don't know if you find this, but it's great when you get praise on notes. It's great when they actually say, "Hey, I really like this character. I love this scene. I really like this. I really like this. This is great. This is great." And then we were like, "But yeah, I think the script can lose 10 pages." And we're like, and the police scenes are too long. But you just said that. But then there's another note on the page that says the scene between the cop and him and the cop that's the best scene in the script. It's kind of like the scene in Heat.
But tighten it.
But can you tighten up? But can you lose 10 pages? And it's like, but how do we take out 10 pages without diminishing the compliments you've just given us? We've already taken out 10. This is like by the way, this is like the 3rd batch of notes. So we've already taken out like 10, 15 pages at this point. I don't know whether you ever got to that stage where you're kind of juggling.
I have, where I definitely can't lose 10 pages. There's no way. It'll be shit if we do that. Yeah. I have, and I was wrong. I think that because what'll end up happening is you're going to end up chopping in the edit. So then you've literally shot for 2 or 3 days for no purpose at all. You know.
Yeah, it's good to try and make those editing decisions before you shoot. That's
Yeah.
definitely true. I've been there.
I had a scene in this that I loved, and my producers loved, and it's the scene. I don't know if you remember when they come across the old man.
Yeah.
In one of the refugees escaping Kharkiv.
Yeah.
And it was a real scene rather than a kind of a transition moment.
Right.
And it's so good. It comes from a very personal story that I have. Everyone was excellent in it. But when you step back and look at the story and you go, okay, we're kind of repeating the beat. It's different, obviously, but what it's trying to say is a repeating of how horrible it is for these refugees. And so it just, pacing wise, the scene had to go, and I wish I'd figured that out in the writing process.
Yeah, but I guess that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so having worked through that, you're now going into pre-production and casting, and I imagine you probably focus on casting while you get in your core team, your production manager, your boots on the ground, your location manager, all the HODs, you know. So I imagine you get your core HODs together, have a production meeting fairly early on, and then you go and do casting while they then go off and do it. Is that fair? Is that
a lot of it? I'm kind of unusual in the fact that the teams I'm working in with teams in Bulgaria and in Sofia and in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I've done several movies with these different teams, and so there's a big shorthand there in that prep time. As far as casting goes, also I'm probably a little unusual in the sense that you'll see a lot of repeat faces. And so I think that's. But yes, okay. So I'm sorry. Roundabout to answer you, yes. So I get them going, and then it's the hard push to round out the casting, especially in somewhere like Sofia, where we're either going to bring actors in from the UK or they're going to be cast locally. So,
well, I mean, I've noticed you've got like a pool of actors, several of whom have appeared in more than one film that you've directed, including Garrett, including Andrew, oh God, his surname,
Lindsey Edwards.
Lindsey Edwards, because several of them were in Osiris,
right?
And then of course, you know, you worked with Johnny Strong on multiple occasions, so you've got your core group. And I think actually, I don't think that is that unusual. I know a lot of directors that do that, especially on the indie scene, because if you've worked with someone before, you know what their range is, and you know what they're capable of doing, and more importantly, what their temperament is like, and you know how they handle stressful situations, and are they difficult to deal with and stuff like that. You want to work with people that are helpful, right? At the end of the day. But I've also noticed that on every film you bring on at least one newbie. And I don't mean like Jason Patrick level. I mean like a face we haven't seen before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's good because you're giving them a chance, and you're also expanding the business that way.
Right.
It's not the same 100 actors always getting the jobs.
Of course.
Is that a deliberate move on your part?
I think so, yes. Because I know a lot of really talented actors, and there are actors who are, I honestly say, are not where they should be. You know,
I agree.
I should have to fight for some of these guys, and they're working, and like I'm a working filmmaker. They're working actors, but I think that they should be like all the time and leading movies, and so it's like
Agreed.
I think you know, to me it's all about the relationship, because I really want to work with good humans, right? And so, you know, earlier in my career, you know, in the past, there have definitely been some not so good humans I partnered with, and it wasn't. It's really challenging already to do the movies we do in the short amount of time we have. So having people that are in it to make the same movie and work together and not have the egos that can really slow you down is critical.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than ego on set. I think you landed with two real winners with LaMonica Garrett and Andrew Howard. Because there's a couple of really good clips on. We're going to talk about the acting and the casting next. I think it would be good to see your two leads in action, so to speak.
Yeah.
So why don't we show this this little clip about the watch, if that's all right with you?
Sure.
I'll put that on for people.
Empty pocket.
Скажи йому віддати й телефон.
Says you're gonna have to take your phone too.
Yeah. He is.
Just give it to him now.
Can't do that. That ain't gonna happen. Look, amigo, I can do you one way better than the phone. Here, check this out. 42mm case, stainless, self-winding chronograph. This right here, my friends, is the finest Swiss craftsmanship. Here, you really gotta hold it to really see what I'm talking about. Here. Feel the weight of that bad boy. Yeah. It's 10 grand you're holding in your hand.
Ясно. А тепер телефон.
Should have took the watch.
I tell you what, that scene made me jump, you know, when I was watching the film, because I could you could see it was either going to go one way or the other. And I have to say, somebody just took the word out of my mouth. The direction on that sequence was really slick. Absolutely agree, Dave. Pretty fantastic stuff. So, I mean, because you knew this was going to be a physically demanding movie, obviously, your leads on this you'd worked with before, and on Osiris was a very physically demanding film. There's a lot of running, a lot of shooting, a lot of action and stuff.
Right. So
you knew your actors could kind of do this kind of stuff, right?
Right. I mean, I hadn't worked with Andrew before. This is our first outing.
Okay.
The first of many to come.
Yeah, he's so good. We'll talk
he's
about
phenomenal.
We'll talk about him more in a minute.
But he's an athlete himself. He's a stud. So it was really a no-brainer. So
right. So when you're casting, obviously it's not always going to be people that you've worked with before.
Right.
Do you get your casting director to put out a brief and get self-tapes sent in, or what routes do you go? Or how can actors get on your radar that might work with you?
A lot of it, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of it's like secondhand. It's like me. I hear from you. Hey, get this guy out.
Yeah.
And I think that what a lot of people don't understand is that when we're like I've got a ton of American actors who are fantastic.
Yeah.
But on the budgets films I'm doing, I can't bring in someone from the States to go play the mafia boss.
No.
In that scene. And he was fantastic. He's a Bulgarian actor. He's great.
He was really.
Wasn't he?
I loved him. Yeah. I mean, you know, you needed someone who had presence and looked quite imposing and real, and they're all pretty good, I thought, actually.
I remember on set, you know, because I auditioned him and we did a callback. And then on set, I'm working with him, and he's really copping an attitude. And I'm going, this guy's an asshole. You know, he was just in it for the day. He was great. I will work with him again as well. So it was just kind of, but I guess that's the thing is like it's traveling and housing is very challenging on our film. So it's like, that's why, you know, my go-to would be to go to, unless I hear something else, would be go to like British equity casting.
All right. I'll have a conversation with you about that afterwards.
Okay.
And as you know, I've already recommended you a couple of people.
Yes.
And it's like you said, it's talent, but also what are they like?
Right.
Yeah. To work with, and there's nothing better than getting a recommendation from another director.
For sure.
So, but let's say that you still can't get the person, and you've got to do some kind of casting. Are you someone who likes to look at self-tapes? Do you want someone in the room? How would that work? What would you
It's going to be initially self-tape.
Right.
And then it will be, if like, for example, if I'm in Sofia, I'm not going to go to London to do in person. So it will be kind of live Zoom. I know it sucks, but at the same time, it's providing opportunities we just wouldn't have had.
Sure.
And I've done this. We've cast, when I did a movie with Universal, Jarhead, Siege. That was all cast. A good portion of those young U.S. Marines were British actors. Some really
I've got a couple of friends in that actually.
Yeah.
I heard that most of them did Zoom auditions. In fact, I think you cast some of them just through the Zoom audition process.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, when you get sent a self-tape, before we move on to production, what are you looking for on a self-tape from somebody?
I guess you've heard this, we've all heard it, but it's like it's trying to take your own angle on the material. It's not trying to please me. It's trying to please yourself and take it as an exercise in acting. And
maybe do something you hadn't thought of with it as well, perhaps.
Yeah, that's the stuff that grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember on my a film, and I had auditioned someone. End of the day, I had picked the guy I was going to go with. I was sure of it. And then we had and this is what you need, is we had an agent call and say, "Hey, Mark's running behind. He'll be there. He's coming soon." And I was like, "I've already got my guy. I don't want to see anyone else. I'm ready to go." And she fought to get us to stay, and he came by, and he was next level magic, right?
Right.
So, and because she convinced me to stay, and there aren't a lot of agents like that.
No, there's not.
And he came in and did something completely different than everyone else did, and he had such. I'm the writer, so anytime someone, the goal here is I'm going to cast well, and now you're going to go elevate me.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to steal credit for that badass explanation point on the end of that scene with "you should have taken the watch," that was LaMonica in the moment.
So he added that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. And so that's what I'm talking about, is like, I
mean, that's a great example, but when you're in the room and you're doing a casting, you'll get, I've spoken to a lot of casting directors and been to workshops and things, and you'll get 10 different pieces of advice that will all conflict from 10 different casting directors.
Right.
But a lot of them will say, only read what's on the page, don't improv anything, because they don't like that, and that's a risk. But it is a risk. That's what's called risk.
I guess it is, but I think it's a risk to go in there, right? I think it's a risk to I say what we are already doing is impossible, and everyone told us we were delusional. So we've already beat the house as far as I'm concerned, just the fact that we're working and chasing it. So I think it's about actors that just.
You need to grab that, or you're
No, I'm not going to grab it. Thank you.
That.
But
okay, I can take that for a second. It's important.
But I think it's just important that you. I'll go back to when you were talking about getting notes in your third round of notes.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you as an actor, you as a writer, you as a director, is this your movie or a committee's movie?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, whether something works or doesn't work, it's going to be my fault.
Yeah.
You decide to sit in that big chair, then suck it up and deal with it.
Well, you know, success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan.
Yeah. Yes. And
So,
I hung out with that orphan for sure.
Yeah. And you probably hung out with all the fathers as well.
I have. I've hung out with some.
Told you what a great job they did with your film.
So yeah.
Okay, now I think that's very interesting for actors to hear. One more question on casting. This was a note that an actor gave me once, and before I became a writer director, I actually was an actor. That was my big thing when I was a kid. And I go back to it as and when I can, but everybody knows me as a writer director, so it doesn't happen very often. But I had done the play about the Marchioness disaster, which is this Thames riverboat party that sank on the River Thames. You might remember that. It happened in '89. You may have still been here. And there was a public inquiry into it, and I reconstructed that in the theatre. And then they were making a movie about it. And one of the families that was represented in the movie was one of the people I got really close to. So to cut a long story short, I got an audition for it because I thought it would be good to be in the movie, and I could keep an eye on it, make sure it was done properly. And just before I went in the casting, I got real nervous, and I rang up a famous actor friend of mine, and I said, "Is there anything you'd advise me to do?" And he said, "Yeah. Say to the casting director before you do your first go that you've thought of 2 completely different ways that you'd like to read the role, and would you mind if they saw both?" And I thought, that's a great piece of advice. Yeah, let me do that. And so then I thought about 2 completely different ways I was going to read the part. It was only a couple of lines, and I went in and I did that. And I said, "Would you mind?" And she said, "No, that's okay. I think we've got time. That's fine." So I did these 2 very contrasting things. So I feel like I got 2 auditions for the price of 1.
That's awesome.
And she said, "Either of those would have worked. Well, we'll let you know." And I got the part that day.
Wow.
So yeah. So,
well done.
Yeah. Do you think that's good advice for an actor to try that one?
I do, because if they say no, they say no, right?
Yeah. If they don't,
right.
It's cool. Isn't it?
and I've seen actors on camera all of a sudden make a choice that I hadn't thought to do. And it wasn't anything we talked about. They just decided to do it, and they did it. And if I hated it, I would have gone back and said, no, do what I asked you to, please. Sure. And as long as it's not going to risk anything, it's not a stunt or something. I think that's because it ended up this particular story ended up staying in the movie, and it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you go and ask the AD or someone, "Hey, well, what if I did this?" Or ask, they could say no. So I think it's sometimes it's okay to.
We've got Gary Bolter in the chat, who, by the way, is the head of the Outcast Creative in Sydney.
Oh, awesome.
He kind of oversees our Australian membership.
Thanks for joining us, Gary.
And I met him. Remember I told you we did those read-throughs of scripts and stuff in lockdown? That's how me and Gary met.
Okay.
And several friends of mine from the UK have now met Gary in person and gone for dinner with him in Australia. I still haven't met him in person yet, but we have done 3 online reads, like live performances together, and I've watched all his short films and stuff.
That's awesome.
Absolutely cracking actor. So if you ever need an Australian Brit, he can do British or Australian. He's married to an Australian woman. He's your man.
Excellent.
Or if you go down under, he'll sort all your actors out. If you ever go down under, there you go. Perfect. So it's good audition advice. So on to production. Have you ever had a circumstance, and this happened to, I don't know if you've heard of the director Albert Poon, who did Sword and the Sorcerer.
Yep.
But he was one of my mentors. Okay. And what a great mentor. And I met him quite late in the last sort of 5 years of his life, where he started battling brain cancer and stuff. And he watched all my films and sent me feedback, and really such a lovely man.
Yeah.
And I could kind of grown up. I watched a lot of B movies, so I'd grown up with his
Me
films.
too.
Yeah. He told me, like, probably about 75% of his movies had the budget cut by 1/3 the week before he started shooting. And this accounted for why a lot of them sort of suffered and were never quite able to live up to Sword and the Sorcerer standards. And they kept doing it to him. So of course, you're just running around making sweeping changes, and you end up with a half-hearted, not particularly good movie.
That's painful.
Have you ever had that happen just before you start? Did you have anything like that with Man of War, apart from having to cut the car chase?
No. I had an experience on a film where I was, again, not with my rock star producers, but I had an experience with on a film where I was told we were going to have certain assets, SWAT team and all this kind of stuff for a movie. And that all went away. And so it was a bit demoralizing to try and find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Because you had.
But I think I've been pretty blessed with the support from, and so much of that comes from our indie world and I've got some horror stories of trying to make a movie happen, and and the movie taking 4 years rather than a year.
Yeah, been there.
So it's yeah, it definitely happens. I've been on the ground prepping a movie before when I found out that my producer was not telling me the truth, and we didn't have the money to make the movie, and that was a kick. That was a kick in the stomach.
I take it that's not one of the producers you're working with now.
No. That gentleman and I don't talk any longer.
No, indeed.
So.
In fact, there may be contracts out on his life as we speak. If they're not, I'll be sure.
I didn't say that. So
if they're not, I'll be sure to implement some. We are joking, of course.
Yes,
so,
of course.
Production-wise, this is, I wouldn't call it an uncomplicated script in terms of you've got a lot of wrangling in terms of action sequences. There's quite.
I think the scope of the road movie is what's challenging.
Yeah,
because this is the downtown streets of Sofia, doubling for Kharkiv, and
yeah.
So we go from here into the woods and the forest and the foothills around Sofia.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think the sheer volume of scenes and the traveling aspect of this were the challenge, the challenge was all the action.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where your first AD, your production manager, and your location manager, and sometimes if it's a tight unit, that's the same person. Often is the same person. Might be your fixer if you're in a different country. Your fixer can often be your locations manager as well. But this is where they really come into the fore in terms of, because it's all about time, isn't it? Once you're on day one, the clock is ticking. It's all about time. You might have, I think you said, was it 25 days you had on this?
24, yeah.
And is that shooting 6 days on, 1 day off?
No, it was 5 and 2, and then a couple stragglers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 24 shooting days in total.
Right. Exactly.
Did you have any transportation days on top of that? Unit moves.
Yeah, we had plenty. So
you got 24 shooting days plus how many unit move days?
I'm not even sure. There probably.
I'm guessing probably 4 or 5, something like
that. At least that many. I would say somewhere between 5 and 10.
Right.
But we have my fixer is Janko Ushtov, and he's a Bulgarian producer. He's worked for Avi Lerner, all the big movies in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And that's how you get a tank and a plane and.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's your guy. He's
the guy. He's one of our like legit producers on the ground, and we could not make the movie without him.
Is it literally like, give me $500 in a brown envelope, tank be here in 5 minutes? Do you get that kind of thing ever?
It's funny because he's the reverse. I send him the script and I say it's way too big, and he goes, "Don't write it small. Just send it to me. We'll figure it out." Because he also knows that I'm the kind of director who's going to, hey, this location's impossible. What if we did something else? And that I'm going to be the guy who's going to make it work creatively. And
you're going to bring more business to them as well.
Yeah.
You've done several films with these guys already.
Yeah, like I said, the same team, and I'm about to leave on Tuesday to go back to them for another one. So
So, your first AD, also a local or somebody that you've worked with that you bring with you?
I've worked with him on 3 movies now. It's Ivan Mitov.
Right.
Just phenomenal. Again, the same pedigree of giant, London Has Fallen and Extraction 2s and Expendables, giant movies. And he's amazing. He's really, really good. And the crew love him. That's the thing is
good.
He's a strong AD, and he also protects creative for me, and he can get stuff done without being a tantrum boy. Yeah.
Have you found this thing with have you had a first AD say to you it's their job to say action?
No, I haven't.
That's happening now, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you that's happening now, and I had that happen recently, and I said it's not.
No.
Oh, it is. And I said, no, it's not. That's written by some millennial in some book somewhere. It's the director's job to say action. I'm the director. I'm going to be calling action.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I've had that. I mean, yeah, you want, I had a friend who did a film in Canada who had a terrible first. And the first was all about making sure that the first was only, in fact, about making sure that they didn't breach any union working hours or rules or anything like that. They caused the production no end of problems.
I did a movie in Vancouver, and I loved my team. The Canadian Vancouver crew were awesome, but it was a bit of a rude awakening for me when all of a sudden everyone stopped. I'm like, what's happening? Why are we? It's tea time. It's tea time. Tea break.
It's like Jim Cameron
tea
moment.
break. There's no tea break. We're making movies. So yeah. Anyways, I got over it.
Yeah. I mean, you typically have 2 breaks and a lunch.
Right.
But people in the UK and on an indie film, you'll take the break when it's convenient, not at a set time. It's like, okay, we've got to get these next 2 shots done. Then we'll take 5 minutes and have a cigarette or whatever.
Right.
So a lot of gunplay, a lot of stunts. What I'd like to ask you about is rehearsals, both with the actors and the stunt team. So outside of your shooting window, your unit moves and all of that, which sounds like total, that's about a month and a half, taking into account days off and things. How much time did you have on rehearsals and blocking and going through stuff with the stunt team, or was that kind of done more remotely and then you went and it was all in place?
They had a couple weeks where they took LaMonica through his fights and his gunfighter, learning the AK platform. He had a lot of CQB, close quarter combat training, and all this stuff from Lioness. But learning the AK the Kalashnikov was a new experience for him. So
yeah, you got 5 different types of Kalashnikov in the movie as well.
We do.
Yeah.
And so each one has their own flavor that fits their character.
Yeah.
And I think that as far as rehearsals, that's primarily done in prep. And then on the day we show up and it's just the actors and myself. We go in the room just together, no one else. We go run the scene and we shake hands with the blocking. And, and that's when you can say, well, look, I know you want to do a figure 8 5 times as you deliver this monologue, but there's 6 other people in the room and I don't have time to cross the line that many times. So you got to work with me. Fine. So that's where you do that one-on-one and figure out how you can work together. And then I bring in the keys and we go from there.
When you're doing a typical day, do you have a goal of number of setups you want to achieve? I mean, obviously there'll be a shot list and stuff, but was there a typical number of setups you were doing on this per day?
I think if you're talking about real setups, not having an A and B camera and calling those setups,
sure.
I think it's around 20.
Okay, 20. Yeah.
Somewhere it can float up to 30, and I rarely would be below that.
So I think it's fair to say, as a director, you like to work quite quickly.
I think we surprise most people how fast we move.
You and I would have a lot of common
Yeah.
I kept having the.
We just don't, you don't want to muck about, right?
No.
Every when you look at the scope of the budget and what that hour costs.
Yeah.
It's, and then that goes back to having the right actors who are going to support, and no one's going to have any diva theatrics and disappear to the trailer to watch a football match or whatever.
No, my God, no, absolutely not. I'd be firing people. I wouldn't care who they were, but unless I had a studio lording over me, of course.
Yeah.
This actor was fantastic. He played the villain.
Yeah, Daniel Bernhardt. He's so good. He's a Swiss American, so he speaks typical European. He speaks like 3 or 4 languages fluently, and he's as nasty a villain as I've ever had.
Yeah, he was for sure.
And he's like the sweetest, nicest human being.
Yeah.
And you guys all know him from Take Anything by 8711. So he was in Atomic Blonde. He had the big fight with Charlize.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
He's the main villain in that. In Nobody, he's one of the lead mobsters on the bus.
I knew I'd seen him before, but yeah, the Atomic Blonde fight is that's a classic fight. That
John Wick. The list goes on and on. And Lance, you should know him because he was the lead for Bloodsport 2.
Oh, you're talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme canon film?
The sequel to that.
Yeah. Well,
he took over the mantle.
I didn't know he was that old. That's going back a bit. That one.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
but he looks like a stud.
Yeah, he looks really good.
He's a physical specimen of a man.
Yeah, Daniel, lend me your moisturizer, please.
No kidding.
Yeah. He does a great job in the film. I mean, your cast in this are all really good. They're really committed. I mean, if I have any criticism with the film, I'd say the female roles maybe feel a little bit underwritten. It is a bit of a boys' action movie, unapologetically so. But maybe because, quite rightly, you devote the time to the search and whatever. We're not going to cut back too much to the female hostages and follow their narrative, because that just dilutes from the tension of the chase, doesn't it?
I will take that guilty as charged for the exact reasons you just spelled out. Yeah. But watch the next one.
Okay.
Watch the next one. There's no damsel in distress in the next one. So.
Right. I think you might be going for something with a female lead, possibly.
Well, she's a true co-lead in this next film.
Okay.
So, and she's as every bit as tough as the Monica will be in that one. So.
Sticking with casting and just sort of, although we're talking about production now, but I want to bring this back to financing slightly.
Right.
I take it that, because I watched the film very carefully, both with my director's hat and my popcorn bucket hat on, so to speak. And as a director, I'm always looking out for things that someone's done that work. And obviously the role that Jason Patric, great to see him, by the way, because he's maybe not on our screens enough. And it was great to see him in this role. And I mean, but it's one of those roles that's what I can call a compartmentalized part. Right. Someone can come in and do and shoot in a few days, and you can get a great name to play that role. And, then they come out again. It's not a big time commitment for them. They get a nice paycheck out of it. You get that name on the poster. How important is that for selling?
I mean, it is, but I'm in this. We don't have the money to the stunt casting, right? That's what they call it, stunt casting.
Yeah, stunt.
And we don't have the money to throw legitimate money for someone to fly in for 3 days.
Right.
And so Jason did this 100% as a favor to me. We had done Shrapnel together before this, and we became really good friends on that film. And I go in and stay with him when I go to Los Angeles. We became really good friends. And I literally called him up and said, "Hey, I need you." And he was like, "Is it a great part?" And I go, "Well, it's the guy orchestrating everything. He's, primarily the guy on the other end of the phone." And he's like, "Okay." And I said, "So, is there any money?" And I go, "No." And he said, "Okay, I'll come." And so that's kind of as good as it gets when you have actors. And Jason Patric, man, That's Narc. That's Rush. After Dark, My Sweet. The Lost Boys. I mean, this guy's one of the best who just hasn't been on the radar as much recently. So
no,
down there.
It's a nice part for him. It's quite different from other stuff I've seen him do, which is good.
Yeah,
and it's quite nicely underplayed, and I liked it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I said. I said I need your character doesn't have a lot of time, so I need people to instantly connect with this character, and you will allow that. So,
independent filmmaker and director Oliver Hollingdale is in the house. Good to see you, Ollie.
Hey, Oliver.
Told you to tune into this one, mate, didn't I? I said it would be of interest to you, and I don't think he's the only one that's watching right now. So, yeah, I mean, when you can pull in those favors, though, even if you maybe can't afford what their agent tells you is their minimum daily rate, and then they can do it anyway, which upsets their agent. But,
the agents hate me.
I know they do. Yeah, they hate me too. But it does help. It does help elevate the movie a little bit. You know, you've got another name on the poster, and the more of those you can get. And also, in the sense, I think you're quite lucky with LaMonica Garrett because you've kind of caught him early, and he's kind of become your guy. And I mean, what a fantastic actor! You know, he's so good. And
that's what I say, Lance. Is like he is. Of course, he looks like this Greek god, right? He's perfect for the physically, right? To what you're imagining for an action hero, but as an actor, he is so interesting and so good.
Yeah,
and the other actors,
going on behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Would you say this is a true statement? A good director knows when to give their actors no notes at all.
I would say that is, but I also think, I mean, I'm assuming as fast as you say you work really fast as well.
Yeah,
right?
I like two good, clean takes that are technically good, and I'm happy with the performances. So I've got two choices in the edit suite. If it's a complex shot, I might try for a third one, but generally, as soon as I've got two clean, I move on. I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm the same, and I'm the same. And for me, when I'm talking, I think sometimes, and this goes to your actors, I think sometimes directors, we're so on task, we're so driven to make our day that I tell you guys, if we don't say anything and we move on, that means we're happy. Okay?
Yeah.
We've just forgotten, and we're being assholes, and we don't even mean to not say anything. We're just, okay, that was perfect. I'm on mission. Go, 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 go. And so I think that's one thing. I'm working better. I'm working a lot harder on trying to make sure, because also, like, I get, for me, I get to go, LaMonica, Andrew, I got it. Do you want another one? If you want one, I'll give you one, but I've got what I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and again, these actors, they also believe in themselves, and we don't waste time sitting at Video Village reevaluating performances.
No, I actually don't like my cast coming back to watch.
I hate it.
It takes them off the set. They're coming out of character. They're not thinking about, just doing what they did, and they're evaluating themselves, which is not their job.
Well, I think that you nailed it there. It's the evaluating themselves.
Yeah.
And we all have our own insecurities and to some degree vanities.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching your performance, you go, man, I don't, that's the wrong side. That's not my good side.
Yeah.
And you make an adjustment with your eyes or something because you don't like cosmetically what you saw. What you saw was truth before you made it untrue. And so that's the big thing for me is I don't want them to reevaluate their performance in midstream.
Yeah, no, very, very, very good advice. You got to work with Andrew Howard for the first time. Now, I'm a massive fan of Hell on Wheels.
Right.
So, of course, I remember him in that. But I also remember him in Banshee, which I've got the box
Yes.
just here, which is an amazing show. He was only in one episode, but I remember him. I liked Broadwalk Empire, which he was also in. I'm a big fan of Westerns, so I saw the Hatfield and McCoy's.
Yeah, me too.
Series. I actually didn't think that series was as good as it could have been, but he was great in it. The actors were all great. I just think the script was a bit weak. He's been around since the early 90s with like Lifeboat and Play for Today and stuff like that. He even did a film called Mr. In Between, not the TV show Mr. In Between. And he was Clarence Hester in Band of Brothers, where a couple of friends of mine worked with him. My friend Jason Flemyng worked with him on Below.
Okay.
So how did he first come on your radar? Because I know you and I got pretty similar tastes.
Right.
So do you have like lists of actors?
You just rattled off all the resume.
Yeah.
And then I saw him as the Russian mobster in Limitless.
Limitless, yeah.
He's in he played Red Scare. So I was a crazy Andrew Howard fan. And my writer friend, Chad Law, the Chad Law, and Andrew were somehow in contact with one another. And there he is. He's oh my God, he's good.
Yeah.
And he ended up connecting us. And I didn't have the money to pay Andrew properly. And I just said, man, I think we need you to do this role as an audience, because yes, you've played some incredible villains. I'd really like to see you do the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's an anti-hero,
right? And he's kind of Andrew in our movie. He's the heart of the story, right?
Yeah, he's the moral compass, because you don't really know where you stand with Connor's character, because he's also internalized and he's selfish. His only goal is to get to what is important to him. Everyone else can burn in as he passes them. And it's Andrew who kind of teaches him. And there's scenes, you watch the movie again, you watch LaMonica looking at Andrew saving the latest refugee. And LaMonica's got this look on his face like he's processing, this guy's no saint. How is he still got this heart? And I think that's what's interesting for LaMonica, is he kind of finds his humanity again through watching Andrew, Yeah, for me, Andrew's character is the humanity. Yeah. In the story, 100%. The moment that he turns up in his Hawaiian/alien rave shirt, right? And actually, there was a couple of people wearing those at the event I was at yesterday. Right. I just thought, I'm gonna love this character. I can tell I'm gonna love this character, and I thought, what a cool decision to get someone who traditionally plays the most awful, torturous assassin types, murderers, people that chop limbs off with chainsaws and things, Right. And then also, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but it's quite early on we learn that he's got a family and he's got kids, and that's his priority in protecting them, and also he's a patriot. He loves his country. He loves the Ukraine, and he makes a very good point about, look, I don't know anything about politics. This is my home. Yeah. And my family's in a bomb shelter. I'm just trying to get my family out of the country. That is his motivation, why he's being the tour guide for LaMonica. Yeah. To get him to his niece, is so that he can get his family out of the war zone. So before we begin to wrap up, for people watching, if you've got any questions for William, please put them in the chat now, and I'll ask them real quick before we wrap up. The action sequence at the end, I can't remember the running time on the final sort of battle, but is it about 25 minutes? Feels like about 20 minutes. I think there's about, after they exit the police station, yeah, it's probably in that. That's the third act, is a running gun. It's the third, yeah. I mean, once the bullets start flying, it's pretty much, it's nonstop, which is great, and I like it. You do all the things right with it, where you show the bullet hits. It's a lot of practical effects. We can see and hear the cartridges falling on the floor. We can see the rounds going through the types of walls that they would go through, and not going through the types of walls they wouldn't go through. You see people reloading at the right times. All that stuff that, you know, doesn't happen in a John Wayne movie, let's say.
Right.
And I loved all of that. I think you told me before, did you use, was it 8,000 rounds you used shooting that sequence?
I have no idea. I have no idea what that round count.
But it was live blanks that were.
It was all blanks. Yeah.
It was all blanks. Yeah. So
there were a couple. If there were incidences where it was point blank, safety was an issue.
Yeah, sure.
Those would be VFX, but everything else was.
Do the compressed air gun, and you had the flash on afterwards. But
yeah, it's Sofia, Bulgaria. We could rock machine guns all day long.
Because I feel like, I mean, doesn't that really add something for the actors? You know, instead of people doing the.
It adds for everyone.
Yeah.
The energy.
Yeah.
100%. And even when a guy's supposed to be an operator, the recoil of the volume, the noise, everything, it's creating a much more believable world for them as a performer.
Yeah.
And so that's and I actually think if people are going to do airsoft CGI, you kind of need to go learn how to do that and make it look convincing.
Yeah.
Because it's good enough now. It is good enough. But
you've got to do the recoil on the gun. Right? Yeah. You know, I mean, guns have got a kick. I mean, I fired an Uzi, and it's a really difficult gun to keep in a, you know, do the straight line thing. It's pretty hard. It pulls right up and to the right, and not an easy gun to keep on track. What was, in terms of the practical stuff, in terms of the action stuff, what was the hardest day? What was the hardest day? What was the most difficult shot, and how did you resolve?
I would say the hardest days were the two street battles in the finale.
Yeah.
Because I had we had 2 days, not including the car wreck. There's a car wreck in the movie.
Yeah.
And that was specialed out by second unit. But we had a cast of 7 or 8, and we had 30 to 40 stunt players.
Yeah.
And it's all happening simultaneously. We had the tank broke down, you know. So, you know, just trying to get it live enough to pull into the scene and do what we had to do.
I had that happen with a World War II tank, and it blocked up the whole road. And oh, mate.
Yeah, and then we tore up the road with the tank.
Yeah.
So
we nearly had that happen.
It's a pissed off. Well, we'll move on from that story.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah.
Okay. So the movie has dropped. It's on Amazon internationally now. Is that right? All territories?
I don't know. I know it's North America. It's Amazon and iTunes, and I've just put the request today to get a listing of all the international territories outside of North America, and I'll share that with you all as soon as possible.
Okay. So this is William's latest film. As I've said at the beginning, I have seen it. I highly rate it. I think it's a great action movie. It's a throwback to some of the stuff we got in the 70s with the realism that we got towards the end of the late 90s. That's kind of my take on it tonally.
I'll take it. And a 9 out of 10, that's pretty damn good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think somebody said that the film could have done with a bit more levity, but I thought that Andrew Howard brought enough of that.
Right.
Yeah, there was enough levity with him. And if you tried to sort of add in those kind of comedic moments, we had that on the rewrite we just did. They stick out like a sore thumb, man, and they don't feel real.
Well, yeah, that's my thing in gunfights. People don't hang out. They don't high five each other. They don't throw one-liners at each other. It's supposed to be terrifying. And so,
they're not.
But yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm not that funny a guy, so you'll have to deal with the way it is for now.
So you've got a mini review in the chat here. Wormy Spoons has seen it. I have one minor gripe in the final shootout. I was a bit lost as to where everyone was in relation to each other. I was able to follow it, mate, but I see what you mean, because it was quite dark, and geography in action is very important. True. I should put that in context. I gave Supergirl a 2. I gave Man of War a 7. Okay, so he's giving it a 7 out of 10. I think 7 out of 10 is good.
He. I mean, I think it's good too. And he's completely wrong. You know exactly where everyone was. No. So I get it. It is chaos. So I get it. We try to do as many. I try to do as many over the shoulders to establish geography as we can. And those are obviously when you have all your resources playing at the same time. So they're much more challenging to do. And in the time I had, I would have had 3 times as many if I'd had another day.
Sure.
But
would you like to work with Gina Carano?
I would, for sure.
Yeah, very talented woman, I think.
Yeah.
And a question here. If you have a movie idea, so he's a writer. Can I contact you, or do I need to contact your representation if he wanted to submit a script to you?
I really can't. I mean, I really can't take anything on right now, because this next year is
rammed with stuff. Rammed with stuff already. Yeah.
So, but let me. I mean, if someone wants to check back with me, maybe next spring, at info@irishchannelstudios.com. That's my studios, irishchannelstudios.com. But yeah.
You might suddenly find there's 20 scripts in your inbox.
Yeah, and I won't be able to get to them right now. Just don't send anything that you don't have copywritten and registered and
make sure it's registered with the Screenwriters Guild.
Actually, Lance, you brought up a very good point. My team will probably kill me for saying this, so I probably need to hold off on any materials right now and go through my rep.
And nothing before January, February 2027, please. But very good of you to, even open the door a tiny bit. Fantastic. I know that you want people to review the film. You want people to talk about the film, other YouTubers and stuff as well. I think you're probably open to going on other people's podcasts potentially, if you have.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're in prep for a film, so subject to you having half an hour here, half an hour there.
But the fact is that this movie means everything to me. I'm super proud of it.
Yeah. So you should.
If you watch the trailer for this film, you're gonna love the movie. If you like the trailer, I think you're gonna really respond to the movie. And I think that what I would love to do is, indie film. That's what we are.
Yeah.
The only way we get the word out is if we don't have massive marketing budgets. We have almost no budget for that. But is to if you like it, get on Rotten Tomatoes, get on IMDb.com. LaMonica, myself, and the team, we really could use a vote. So. That would be awesome.
All right. Well, look, what I'm going to do to wrap it up, and if you do want to stay on the line, I'll have a quick word with you, is to close out. We'll show another clip from the movie, because this is also on IMDb. Now, hopefully IMDb won't ratio our video and say we're in breach of copyright. Normally, they've done that before, by the way. So I got flagged for showing your Osiris trailer, right?
Really?
Yeah. The next day. And I said fair use, and so they always ask, and it's AI, by the way, that's flagging you with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And they always ask, what's the fair use? And I said, well, the fair use is that I'm interviewing the director of the trailer. So it got rescinded within 2 days. So I think this will probably happen again, but I'll do my best to keep all of it in. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we call it there? Thank you so much again for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
No, Lance, I love coming on the show, so thank you for having me. And I'll send you the clip embargo ends after this next weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll send you a couple extra things that you could share if you want to.
I will. Absolutely will do that. And just also know going forward, I'm a big supporter of your films and your work ethic and everything. So, every time you've got a film coming up, you can come back on here and talk about it, and we'll arrange that. And so just know that the Outcast Creative is a place you can come to promote your work, because what we do here is promote the work of independent creators, especially independent directors. That was originally why I started this. Now, of course, I broadened it to music and board games and everything. But independent directors always jump to the front of the queue, because I am one. So anytime you want to come on to plug something, or even plug a friend's movie, that you might helped out on, send them my way. That's why this channel's here. So, well,
as soon as I heard Outcasts, I knew I'd found my home. So,
mate,
yes,
listen,
thank you.
I've got a spare one of these hats, and it's coming your way, buddy.
I've got a big melon. Yeah, I would love to have it. So,
I think it could adjust. All right, listen. Thanks.
Hey, and can I say one last thing?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to say, because you said there are a lot of younger filmmakers, younger actors, writers. As I said earlier, everyone told us this was impossible, right?
Yeah.
And it's not impossible. There are plenty of people that I started out with that were every bit as talented or more talented, and but they didn't have the endurance. So I would say keep grinding. You've got this, and if it's what you love to do, you'll get there. So.
Fantastic. That's a great note to end on. So just to remind everybody, I'm going to be back tomorrow night with my regular Monday night Ibiza podcast. We were joined by Kelly Fourbeats last week, and she's now going to be a regular member of the panel. So she's going to make me and DJ WizKid look good. In other words, she's a lot better looking than us two. So it's much nicer. It's more aesthetically pleasing for people to come and watch. So we'll be back doing that tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I've got my regular review show at 9 p.m. on Tuesday, where I'll be giving this a quick mention again, but we're mainly going to be doing a special on the Dutton Ranch show.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just saw it last night.
Dude, I just finished watching it this morning. What a great ending. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've
been very happy with the show.
I have as well. And I know you're friends with Cole Hauser. I'm a massive fan of his. I've followed his career since the very beginning. Right. And I loved him on it, so please pass that on. I just thought he was amazing on the show. All right, so we're gonna thank you everybody in the chat. Thanks for the questions. We're gonna round out with another clip from the movie, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right, so here we go. One more clip from Man of War.
No bullets in this one.
No bullets.
Calling on the Ukrainian government to lay down their arms. Speaking of the denazi...
Charlie, we got a problem.
No. City's locked down, right?
Yeah.
Just heard saboteurs and Skrzeni assassins hunting for Zelensky. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it should be lifted soon. You got any other news?
Only bad. Langley says they expect Kyiv to fall within days. The Ukrainians are saying they stopped Russian troops in the Chernihiv area. There's a major battle in progress in the outskirts of Kharkiv.
Nothing we weren't expecting.
Mike?
Get your shit. We're leaving. When there's breaking this barrage.
What about curfew?
It's been lifted. All men between 18 and 60 have been ordered to report for service. We go now or we don't. Come on. Vamonos.
Gotta go.
Hours ago, they've gone from being civilians to fighting on the front line.
Non trapite.